Hi, I'm Vernika, and welcome to Keeping It Real, Keeping It Conscious, Keeping It Positive. I'm here in beautiful Claremont, Florida at Lilies on the Lake. I'd like to welcome our special guest.
Hi. Welcome. We're glad you're here. I'm Renee Lowe.
Okay.
I'm Elder Ripper.
I'm Macy. I'm Hannah.
I'm Rachel. And I'm Cassidy.
So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
All of them have come together and started a group that's local here in Claremont. It's called Spread Kindness and Make a Difference. If you want to find out more information about them, they have a Facebook page and also an Instagram account. So tell me a little bit about how did you all get started?
Well, it really started back in October when our community was experiencing youth suicides, a lot of depression, a lot of attempts that were taking place here in our community. We started an outreach program just connecting leaders in our community with our youth and just trying to listen to their voice and find out what was going on. And in those efforts, we started connecting with kids and finding out that they were really looking for kindness and love and respect and engagement and relationships that weren't superficial.
Sure. What was happening here in Lake County?
Well, we had an increase in youth suicide and youth suicide attempts that were taking place. We actually had a shooting at one of our schools during the day. A young man took his life, and that was very traumatizing, not only for the individuals that were at that school, but the individuals there at the surrounding schools, because in Claremont, we're a community. Just because we have kids 6 miles down the road in another classroom doesn't mean they're not as equally affected. They play sports together, they go to church together, they have after-school activities and clubs that are together. So it affected us, countywide in South Lake County.
Okay. And then just recently there's been talk in the news. Can you talk about your involvement with that and how you guys have helped?
You're talking about the Parkland incident. Absolutely. That was very scary. It creates a lot of fear in our kids here in South Lake. These guys really stepped up. I'll let Elder tell you a little bit about what they did to influence Parkland, Florida.
So the whole tragic incident that happened in Parkland, as you all know, was a very difficult and strenuous and emotional situation that happened, and it really struck a nerve when it comes to being a student and being a student leader, and what that shift really did when that event happened in Parkland. What that meant for me as a student, what it meant for us as students.
Yeah, all of you are high school students.
Yeah.
And it brings it close to home. I mean, that could have happened
People
here
we know.
in our community. And we have people in our community that were connected to families in Parkland. So it was very
close to home.
Very close to home and very real to these guys that something like that could just as easily happen to their friends in their school.
So what you all are doing is you're creating a collective consciousness by creating awareness of how these events affect the local community, because these things do have a ripple effect. And then at the same time, you can come together and change it to make it positive, to create a problem.
Very much
so. More and more people are inspiring us. So can you guys talk about, specifically what are you doing within the school, at other places, just to create awareness?
Specifically within the school, I mean, I'm sure Hannah and Rachel and whatnot can help me out on this, but in the school we come together as clubs, as organizations, as students a whole lot more in the face of all of these incidents in order to bring about events like the Kindness-Palooza and come together. So if you guys want to talk about that.
This Friday, we had a memorial and a tribute to the victims of the Parkland shooting. It was Wednesday? This Wednesday we had a tribute and a memorial for the Parkland shooting, and it was all really student-led, student plans. Elder and I were a huge part on that planning team. And the weeks before that, we made it important, and something that we really wanted to make sure we did was we met up with all the leaders of every single club in our school, and we wanted to make sure that we all came together as a school to honor them and to make that shift and to show them that this is important and that we're all are affected by this.
It's a united front.
Yeah.
And they've created a united front to respect each other.
Do you think there has been like an awareness, an awakening here in Claremont?
I feel like there has been an awakening, but not big enough to make a difference right now.
It's beginning.
It's on the edge. It's starting, but definitely like things like Kindness-Palooza and like our memorial or our tribute we did at our school are definitely opening people's eyes about it and like bringing light to the situation, but it's not actually becoming an actual difference yet.
So let's talk about the kindness. Let's talk about that.
I'm so sorry, but I would say that people have opened their eyes, but they haven't gotten out of bed yet.
Okay, so you guys are organizing the Kindness-Palooza. So who can talk about that, and when is that occurring? And
it is on March 17th, tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's out at Lake Catherine Blueberry Farm.
Lake Catherine.
It's a very interactive event. There's not going to be any business leaders sitting behind a table where you just walk up and get information. There's splatter paint walls to put your mark on kindness. There's giant chalkboards to write a kind message to somebody. There's interaction with business leaders that we don't get at events like Pig on the Pond or something like that, where they're just sitting behind a table and you walk up and get a business card and walk away. There's interaction and there's
so you're spreading kindness.
Engaging and building relationships is really important in order to, like they said, get their mission and get people more involved.
Art and music and all sorts of fun stuff
music
like
and
that.
art.
Okay, it brings people together to create awearness. Do you think people are receptive to this?
They are.
To a certain extent.
When these guys started, we started with a group of 9 kids. And from that, it has spread, and they are now about 140, I think we counted 148 kids that we have that are participating in one way or another. You know, they may have their own independent projects that they've created in their groups or clubs. A lot of them have come together and built this Kindness-Palooza. These guys have been working on this project for 3 months, and they have done everything, all their committees, all their, everything. So it's that uniting together and reaching out with them.
I feel that within the student community, it's been very receptive. You know,
it's like a centripetal force, like pulling people together when bad things happen like that. It makes us band together. Like there is not positive to it because it's an awful thing, but it causes us to, unite.
And I think I read somewhere online you guys do something with like anti-bullying. Is that right? Like, can one of you talk about that or?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Who's had one of those bullying experiences that they would like to share, and how this has been a change for them?
I've never been bullied, but I've seen it. You see it every day.
Yeah, I've been bullied very, very heavily because when you take a strong position or a stance in any public way, shape, or form, and you go against the flow of society, it becomes something where, when you're that rock sticking out of that river, the river's constantly pounding you down and grinding on you and smoothing you out until you're finally under the surface. And so it takes a lot out of you to be that person, and that's what I've learned through having this voice and going about this, because there's countless times where because I typically tend to be happy, and smile, but I go around lovingly and happily in my own, particular way, and I have interactions with all of these people, and to my face, it's all just one thing, it's all just happiness, and they all smile to my face, but when it comes down to, what is said behind me, and what people change my actions and my statements to become, and how they pollute what I've done and why I do what I do, so that it can be something regular, so that anything special that I do isn't special, because
a lot of leadership kids get it like that. Like, you try to do something different, you try to stand out, and other kids don't like
you always
that.
have that fear that they're going to judge you or they're going to say
And people do.
And but it's just something you have to accept.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's part of
absolutely.
being a leader.
Yeah.
That's part of the job. I mean,
We have a young lady, she's a 6th grader with us. Her name is Ava. And Ava just won the Dreamer Endures scholarship at Eastridge Middle School.
Okay.
And she wrote her essay on how bullying in elementary school was really, really hard for her. And it took a little while for her to realize that really the kids that were bullying her were probably the kids that weren't getting the same attention that she was getting at home. And so she set out on a mission
an awareness.
in the 5th grade to just start being kind and make friends with the bullies, because she felt like if I could love them and be friends with them, they didn't have a reason to bully me. She was extremely successful at that. And so she wrote her essay on, that experience, and then how coming into 6th grade and middle school and joining and being a part of the Make a Difference campaign has given her an opportunity to feel that she can make a change in individuals by connecting with them. And she's in 6th grade. And she read her her essay to us, and we were just blown away because it is impactful, And so she was that bullied kid that stayed to herself and, didn't engage, and finally decided, to make a difference in that on her own way before, we came in the picture. And she's done that. And so now this is an opportunity for her to be a part of a team that supports her in wanting to make that change. And so we are behind her in doing that, and she's being successful with that. So we're super excited and honored that, she received that, and she wrote her essay on Make a Difference USA and the impact and the engagement and the building bridges and the things that we talk about with them. So it's pretty powerful for them.
Definitely.
We're excited that they're, taking the tools that they need to engage with others. They have 47 businesses and community leaders that are partnering with them for their Kindness-Palooza. So some people don't get it, but there are a lot that do, and there are a lot that support them in coming out. So we're excited about that.
what I like about that story you just shared is she's a young girl. She was bullied, like a lot of young people, around your age. But she turned that around into something positive. Like, just like all of you are doing, which is really nice.
Absolutely.
Even just not looking at bullying, but a lot of us can relate to relationships that are toxic and people that talk behind your back. People that you once trusted turn around on you, and they do something that like, wow, I never thought you would do that to me. I trusted you. I told you that, and you decided to treat me like this when I have done nothing wrong to you. And it's important just to spread kindness and to promote positivity, because we need that, and we need to be better people.
We talk about encouraging deeper bonded relationships instead of very superficial relationships, and how to really connect and understand and take pride in those relationships, so that those types of things don't happen, in a superficial relationship, and they can recognize what that looks like and make better choices to have more positive, inspirational relationships in their lives, and they're doing that.
So a question I often ask when we film these shows is, who inspires you? Would one or two of you like to answer that question?
I would. Okay. Someone that really inspires me is my mom.
Thank you.
Because her family wasn't always the best when she was growing up, and she moved out at like 17, and she put herself through school, and she lived on her own, and she became a firefighter and saved lives, and now she's maybe not in a uniform, but she's saving lives. She's making a difference, and that's really impactful. So that she started.
Yay, that's sweet.
She started with
nice.
just a little bit, and became so big and so known and so impactful.
Thank you for sharing that. Does anyone else have a story of someone who inspires them?
Anyone that inspires me, and anyone who's gone through something that I can't relate to, whether it's a hard time, whether they experienced something like Miss Renee did, or whether it's just they had a tough battle or a tough life and they overcame it and they're still successful. I look up to that, because one day I want to be successful, and knowing that they could do it through all those hardships means that I can do it too, and that inspires me.
Absolutely.
For me, it's my parents who inspire me. My parents, they moved to the United States in their like really young 20s. They came here with nothing, and just what inspires me so much is the thought of having to pack up all your stuff, leave all your family on the other side of the world, and come over to a new country and start your life and assimilate, and to start off with nothing and it's just amazing to me how they were able to do that, and I'm here now, and they did it all for me and my sister.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for it, and I just can't imagine doing that myself. I can't imagine how they were able to do that.
So your parents packed up everything, came here with nothing, and made something.
Came here with like 2 bags.
Wow. I mean, it really, absolutely.
It's like the process of going through citizenship, like the very rigorous amount, like takes a while too.
Absolutely.
To do it the right way, and I'm really proud that they're able to say that.
Yeah, you want to give a shout out to your your mom and dad? That's nice. Okay. So some of the most inspirational people share a lot of great qualities. The people like Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. They all have shown kindness, compassion, and awareness. So I think that's something that all of you are doing today. So I really appreciate you all being here.
Yeah,
thank you for coming.
Very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
Applaud
you.
yourselves. You guys are amazing.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing your stories.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Bye for now.